Hello everyone, another new day has begun, and today we will continue the story about Tieu Ca and her child. What will their lives be like today? Let's find out together. Every day, Ca starts her morning by taking her daughter to school. But today, while she was on her way to school, her phone unexpectedly rang. It was Hmong, the man who is currently working abroad, but he hasn't forgotten to check in on her and her child. He asked about their lives, especially about the decision to move to a new house that she was planning to move into. The conversation between the two was very warm. Hmong reminded her to take care of her health and not to overwork. Don't forget to take care of yourself, Ca. Don't work too much. You need to rest, he said. She just smiled lightly, replied briefly, and then continued with her work. After dropping her daughter off at school, she returned to her work. She was always busy, day in and day out, but there was still a simple joy in her heart. In another part of her life, her ex-husband, the man who had once caused her much pain, had now undergone a significant change. He began to regret his past actions. What he had done to her and their daughter was now behind them. He had started to show care for their child, even buying things for their little girl. What was strange was that he even asked to work at Hmong's wood production factory, the very same man who was now pursuing Tieu Ca. Hmong, as a wealthy CEO, was trying to help Tieu Ca, but a part of him also had deep feelings for her. He wanted to make up for the pain she had endured, a deep affection mixed with a sense of responsibility. One day, when Tieu Ca returned home from work, she unexpectedly encountered a boy she had helped a long time ago. The boy, who had once struggled with life, was now scavenging for recyclables to earn money, hoping to take care of his younger sibling. Although she was going through her own hardships, Tieu Ca couldn't bring herself to ignore the boy's poverty. With her compassionate heart, Tieu Ca didn't hesitate to help. She realized that even though her own life was full of challenges, she could still help those around her. She took the boy to a restaurant, gave him some extra money to buy a small bag of rice, and then they left together. It was this very side of Tieu Ca that made Hmong, who had always been watching from afar, admire and grow fonder of her more than ever. Hmong not only admired her for her hard work, but he was also deeply impressed by her kind heart. She wasn't just a strong woman overcoming life's challenges, but also someone who knew how to share and love those in difficult situations. Tieu Ca, with her heart full of love and compassion, had made a powerful, wealthy man like Hmong fall for her in silence. Tieu Ca returned after picking up her daughter from school. As usual, she walked into the house, but today something felt different. She paused at the door, her eyes wide with surprise as she saw a familiar figure, her ex-husband, sitting silently on the doorstep, his eyes heavy with regret, holding a small gift bag. A sense of unease rose within her, but Tieu Ca walked over. As she approached, her ex-husband lifted his head, his face a mix of remorse and worry. He hesitated and said, "Are you back?" His voice was a little choked, as if trying to hide something. He held out the gift box, as if trying to emphasize his concern. "I brought a gift for our daughter. I know everything has changed, but I want you to know that I truly want to apologize. I really want to make up for the mistakes of the past." Tieu Ca Jung Jo Tritim Jiao Jon Hong Dui Tri Su composure. His apology felt like a medicine too late, unable to heal the wounds that had been there for so long. She took a deep breath and spoke. How can you expect me to forgive you? Tieu Ca said, her voice cold but not without pain. We've been through too much. You've hurt me. You've hurt our daughter. And now you want to come back with these belated apologies. Her ex-husband lowered his head, unable to look her in the eye. He could clearly feel the distance in Tieu Ca's words, but he didn't give up. His eyes filled with sorrow, and he continued. I know you've suffered so much because of me, but even though we can't go back to how things were, I still want to provide for our daughter and for the child you're carrying too. I don't want to be a burden to you, but I want to take care of our children. I want to make up for some of the pain I caused. You may not forgive me, but please let me do something for the two of you. Tieu Ca stayed silent, her eyes filled with conflicting emotions. She never expected the man who had hurt her so much to say these words. But no, she couldn't. There was no way she could forgive him after everything that had happened. She looked at him, her hands clenched tightly, her voice firm and resolute. You no longer have the right to make decisions. You've made enough mistakes. Don't hurt us anymore. Please leave. I don't need you in my life anymore. Her ex-husband looked at her one last time, his eyes red, his heart shattered. He walked away slowly, as though all the strength in him had vanished. She watched him go. Each step he took felt like waves crashing against her heart, painful but full of resolve. She knew she had made the right decision, even though her heart ached. When the door closed, the surrounding space suddenly became eerily silent. Tieu Ca didn't cry, didn't tremble, but an indescribable emptiness rose within her. She turned inside, looking at her daughter playing in the room. She knew she had to be stronger for her daughter, for what she was building. Today, the real estate agent arrived, bringing the owner along to inspect the piece of land that Tieu Ca intended to sell. This was a big decision in her life, as she had to give up the home she had been attached to for so long in order to find a new place to live, one that was closer to the school and more convenient for picking up and dropping off her daughter every day. Tieu Ca had thought carefully about this. She needed a new space where her daughter could study better and where life for her family would be easier. She had decided to sell the house and the hill behind it, even though she would have to leave behind many memories, because a brighter future awaited. After work, she stopped by the real estate office and met with him. He took her to see the land where she and her daughter would move to, a place where she planned to build a new, spacious house with all the necessary amenities. This would be a fresh start, a place that Tieu Ca hoped would provide her daughter with the best opportunities for the future. When they arrived, Tieu Ca looked around and felt a bit uncertain. The land was quite spacious, with many green trees, fresh air, and surrounded by a peaceful environment, making it very suitable for a small family like hers. However, there were still many things she needed to consider before making a decision, especially issues like electricity, water supply, and the surrounding infrastructure. The real estate agent began to explain the amenities and infrastructure of the area. He said, "This is a developing area. Although it's not overly crowded, it's very close to public amenities like schools, hospitals, and shops. As for electricity, I will assist in bringing the power lines to this land to ensure your house will have a stable electricity supply. Tieu Ca nin an ta, van con mo chut lo lang? She asked, what about the water supply? Since this is a new area, will there be enough water for my family? The real estate agent nodded and replied, as for the water supply, this area has a fairly stable groundwater system. I will work with local authorities to ensure a clean water pipeline is brought here. The system will be installed as soon as your house is built. You can be assured about this issue. Tieu Ca breathed a sigh of relief. The issues of water and electricity were her biggest concerns, as she didn't want to face difficulties living in a new area. She looked around, feeling the tranquility and the change in her heart. She continued asking, so when will everything be completed? Will I be able to move in soon and start a new life? The real estate agent thought for a moment and then said, if everything goes smoothly, I believe it will take about 2 to 3 more months to complete the paperwork and begin building your house. After that, we will focus on setting up utilities like electricity, water, and other amenities. As for moving in, I think you'll need a little more time to make arrangements, but I will support you fully throughout this process. Tieu Ca felt more at ease hearing him say that. This was an important step in her new life with her daughter. She looked at the real estate agent and thanked him. Thank you for your help. I truly appreciate this support. I hope everything goes smoothly so I can start my new life. The real estate agent smiled and nodded. It's my pleasure. You can rest assured. I will handle all the paperwork and help you solve any issues related to this land. If you need more information or assistance, don't hesitate to contact me. Tieu Ca gazed at the vast land, imagining the house that would soon be built, a house that would mark the beginning of a new chapter in her life and her daughter's. She felt more at peace, knowing that, although there would still be many challenges ahead, at least she had made the right decision to move forward. As for Hmong, the man to whom she had once felt affection, although he hadn't returned to the country yet, he always had thoughts about Tieu Ca and her child in his heart. He knew Tieu Ca had endured so much, and perhaps it was time for him to be there to protect and care for her. Hmong had been watching over her from afar, but could he return sooner than planned to take care of Tieu Ca and her child? He had intended to come back, but work kept pulling him away. However, nothing could stop him from worrying about her. Would her ex-husband continue trying to make up for his mistakes? Would he have enough patience to wait for the day Tieu Ca would open her heart to forgive him? And Hmong, the man who once had deep feelings for her, could he return and become a solid support for Tieu Ca and her child? Surely, life would continue with new challenges, but Tieu Ca knew she would never be alone. She would overcome everything for herself, for her daughter, and for the child she was carrying. A future full of hope was waiting for her.
Trong sự sai lầm của quá khứ. Tuy nhiên, dù anh có thay đổi tích cực, liệu Tieu Ca có tha thứ cho anh để cho những nỗi đau xưa cũ qua đi? sau bao nhiêu tổn thương đã qua, liệu cô có đồng ý để